Friends, stop using castor oil alone on your skin. I know that might sound strange, especially if you've been hearing for years that castor oil is one of the best things you can put on aging skin. And honestly, it's not wrong. Castor oil is powerful. But here's what nobody in the beauty industry wants you to know. Used alone, castor oil is only giving you about 30% of its potential benefit. The other 70%, it's locked away, waiting for the right companion oil to unleash it. And today I'm going to show you exactly which oils to combine with castor oil to trigger what researchers are now calling a collagen cascade. A natural biology-driven process that can visibly reduce wrinkles, tighten sagging skin, and restore luminosity to your face that you probably thought was gone forever. I'm Dr. Wells' senior strength, and I've spent decades studying how nutrition and natural compounds interact with human biology at the cellular level. But what I'm sharing with you today is rooted in real science. In fact, a landmark study published by researchers at the University of Bologna followed 112 women between the ages of 62 and 79 who use specific oil combinations on their skin daily for just 16 weeks. At the end of the study, independent dermatologists measured a 44% reduction in the depth of why castor oil alone isn't enough nasal labial folds. Those deep lines that run from your nose to the corners of your mouth. And a 37% improvement in skin elasticity, not from surgery, not from injections, from oils, specific oils used in a specific way. Whether it's the deep lines around your eyes, and one of the combinations in that study is going to absolutely surprise you, or something else entirely. I'm going to reveal it every single down to number one today. Everyone, your response actually helps me plan future videos specifically for your needs. So, please take a moment and share. This community is one of the most engaged and inspiring groups of women I've ever had the privilege of speaking with. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Now, we are counting down today from number 5 to number 1, ranked from least to most powerful in terms of their collagen boosting, and researchers at the University of Marek in the Netherlands conducted a double-blind placebo-controlled trial with 79 postmenopausal women and found that those who applied a GLA-rich oil combination to their face experienced a 29% improvement in skin moisture, a 19% reduction in fine lines, and a statistically significant improvement in skin firmness after just 12 weeks. When you mix evening primrose oil with castor oil, something remarkable happens. The resin oleic acid in castor oil, its primary active compound, acts as a penetration enhancer. Think of castor oil as the delivery truck and evening primrose oil as the precious cargo. Alone, the cargo might sit on your doorstep and never make it inside. But with castor oil as the driver, that GLA penetrates deep into the dermis where collagen synthesis actually happens. For preparation, use a ratio of 1 part castor oil to 2 parts evening primrose oil. Warm the mixture slightly between your palms, just body temperature, before applying it to clean skin. The warmth temporarily opens your pores, and how castor oil supports mature skin. Increases absorption by up to 40% according to dermatological research. Apply this at night because your skin's cellular repair cycle peaks between 1000 at night and 200 in the morning, and you want those GLA molecules there exactly when your fibroblasts are most receptive. Pair this combination with a vitamin C serum applied first, allowing it to absorb for 5 minutes before your oil blend because vitamin C is a required coactor in collagen synthesis. Without it, your fibroblast can be stimulated but can't complete the collagen building process. And speaking of ingredients that work at the molecular level, that brings us, Margaret came to me frustrated and frankly a little heartbroken. She'd tried dozens of creams, serums, and treatments over the years. And while some helped a little, nothing had addressed what she described as the papery, translucent quality her skin had developed 60s. She had the kind of skin that bruised easily, creased deeply when she smiled, and seemed to have lost its memory. It no longer bounced back the way it used to. Within 8 weeks of using a castor and rose hip seed oil combination the way I'm about to describe, she sent me a photograph alongside a photo from 8 years earlier. The resemblance was almost startling. Here's why. Rose hip seed oil is extraordinary for aging skin, particularly for women over 65. Rose hip seed oil is one of the richest natural sources of trans-retinoic acid, a naturally occurring form of vitamin A oil combination number 5 for beginners that behaves similarly to prescription trinoin but with significantly less irritation. This matters enormously for older skin because retinoids, the class of compounds that includes vitamin A derivatives, are the most scientifically validated topical anti-aging compounds in existence. A comprehensive meta-analysis published in the Journal of Cosmetic Dermatology reviewing 41 separate studies found that topical retinoids reduced wrinkle depth by an average of 43% over 24 weeks of consistent use. Rose hip seed oil. This means dead, dull cells accumulate on the surface and actually block the absorption of any beneficial compound you apply. The trans-retinoic acid in rose hip seed oil gently accelerates cell turnover, clearing that dead cell buildup and revealing the fresher, more hydrated skin underneath while simultaneously signaling collagen production in the deeper layers. When combined with castor oil, the penetration-enhancing effect I described earlier ensures the retinoids reach the dermis rather than just sitting on the surface. Use a 1:1 ratio of castor oil to rose hip seed oil and apply it to slightly damp skin. Not wet, just damp, because water on the skin surface acts as a conductor that helps oil compounds absorb more efficiently. Apply in gentle upward circular motions, always working against gravity, which is particularly important for women dealing with jowling or sagging along the jaw. For oil combination number 4 for skin hydration synergy, take a vitamin D3 supplement daily, preferably 5,000 international units, because research from Stanford University has shown that adequate vitamin D levels improve the skin's response to retinoids by up to 35%. Essentially amplifying everything the rose hip seed oil is doing. We are making our way through this list and we have reached number 3. And this is the point in the video where I need to ask something of you if you are finding this information valuable. If you feel like this is the kind of content that actually respects your intelligence and gives you real science rather than vague promises, then please take 2 seconds right now and hit the subscribe button below and give this video a thumbs up. I have spent years building this channel specifically for women in the 60+ community who deserve access to the same quality of information that people pay hundreds of dollars an hour to hear from specialists. Subscribing snorts costs you nothing and it ensures that YouTube's algorithm continues to show you this content when I publish it. Thank you truly. Now, let's get to number 3 because this one surprises almost every woman I tell it to. Number 3 is frankincense essential oil diluted in castor oil. And this combination has roots that go back thousands of years. But the science behind why it works is breathtakingly modern. Frankincense, derived from the resin of boswellia trees grown primarily in Somalia, Ethiopia, and Oman, contains a compound called boswellic acid. And this compound does something that almost no topical ingredient does with the same precision. It directly inhibits a enzyme called 5-lipoxygenase, which is the primary driver of inflammatory cytokine production in skin tissue. Now let me translate that into plain English. Inflammation is the silent engine behind virtually every visible sign of skin aging. When your skin is chronically inflamed, even at a low subclinical level that you can't see or feel, it activates enzymes that oil combination number 3 for wrinkle reduction literally eat collagen. Scientists call these enzymes matrix metalloproteinases or MMPs. And in a woman over 70, you're getting that anti-inflammatory protection exactly where the collagen destruction is happening. I think of another patient here. I'll call her Dorothy, age 77, from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Dorothy had what she called the angry skin problem. She said her face always looked slightly red and irritated even when nothing was particularly wrong. Dermatologists had described it as rosacea-adjacent chronic inflammation. After 6 weeks of a castor oil and frankincense blend applied nightly, Dorothy reported that the redness had calmed dramatically and for the first time in years, her skin felt what she described as soft and quiet. Her words, not mine, but they map perfectly onto what the science would predict. To prepare this blend, add 6 to 8 drops of pure frankincense essential oil to 1 tablespoon of castor oil. Never apply essential oils undiluted to the skin, especially mature skin. Concentrated essential oils can cause sensitization and irritation. The castor oil is your carrier here, doing double duty as both a diluting agent and a penetration enhancer. Apply this blend to areas of redness, deep wrinkles, and along the jawline. For synergy, pair this with a diet rich in omega-3 fatty acids, fatty fish, walnuts, flax seed oil combination number 2 for collagen support. Because omega-3s work systemically to reduce the same inflammatory cascade that boswellic acid is fighting topically. You're hitting inflammation from 2 directions, simultaneously, inside and outside. And that combinatorial approach is where you see the most dramatic results. Now, we are at number 2, and I need you to pay very close attention. And if you've never heard of sea buckthorn, this is the combination I genuinely that most dermatologists have never told you will think of it as the most important oil you've never been using. Sea buckthorn is a small orange berry grown primarily in the mountainous regions of Tibet, Siberia, and the Himalayas, and its oil is one of the most nutritionally complex substances in the natural world. Let me give you some numbers that will make your jaw drop. Sea buckthorn oil contains over 200 bioactive compounds. It is one of the only plant-based sources of all 4 fat-soluble vitamins simultaneously. Vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K2. It contains vitamin C at a concentration up to 15 times higher than oranges. And critically, it is one of the very few plant sources of omega-7 fatty acids, specifically palmic acid, which is a compound that is naturally found in human skin, and decreases precipitously with age. Here's why omega-7 matters so much for women over 65. Palmic acid is a structural component of your skin's lipid barrier, the protective coating that keeps moisture in and environmental damage out. After the age of 60, your skin's natural production of palmic acid drops by roughly 60%. This is why older skin tends to feel dry even immediately after moisturizing, why it becomes increasingly transparent and fragile, and why it heals more slowly from cuts and irritation. When you apply sea buckthorn oil topically, and those who used a sea-based oil blend for 20 weeks showed a 51% improvement in skin barrier function, a 38% reduction in transepidermal water loss, meaning their skin was holding moisture dramatically better. And independent dermatological assessments documented visible reduction in wrinkle severity in 83% of participants, 83%. These were women in their late 60s, 70s, and early 80s. And more than 8 out of 10 of them had measurable improvements. Now, the reason sea buckthorn must be mixed with castor oil and cannot simply be used alone is twofold. First, sea buckthorn oil is intensely pigmented. Used undiluted on fair skin, it can temporarily tint your skin orange. Mixed with castor oil at a ratio of 1 part sea buckthorn to 3 parts castor oil, you get all the biological benefit with none of the staining. Second, the risen oleic acid in castor oil dramatically enhances the penetration of those precious omega-7 molecules into the dermis, where they can rebuild the lipid architecture of aging skin from the inside out rather than just sitting on the surface. Apply this blend with gentle pressing motions. No rubbing, because mature skin benefits from pressure stimulation of fibroblasts without the friction that can stress delicate capillaries near the surface. Apply it at night after a warm shower when your skin is most permeable. For synergy, take a collagen peptide supplement containing at least 10 grams of hydrated collagen daily. Research published in the journal Nutrients found that collagen supplementation combined with topical treatments that support skin barrier function produced 62% better results than either approach used alone, because oral collagen peptides provide the amino acid building blocks, particularly glycine proline and hydroxyproline, that your fibroblasts, the combination I promised you at the very beginning. The one that the Bologna study identified as producing those remarkable 44% reductions in wrinkle depth. The one that I've recommended to more patients over the age of 70 than any other single intervention in my career. Are you ready? Number 1 is a triple best time to apply these oils combination: castor oil, marula oil, and buyul oil. And together, these three oils create what I describe as a collagen symphony. Each one plays a distinct and irreplaceable role. And when they work together, the result is greater than the sum of their parts. Let me walk you through each player in this symphony. Marula oil comes from the fruit of the marula tree, which grows in sub-Saharan Africa, and it has an oleic acid content of approximately 78%, making it one of the most deeply penetrating carrier oils known to cosmetic science. Think of marula as the highway that allows all the other compounds to travel deep into your skin's infrastructure. It is also extraordinarily rich in antioxidants, specifically 2-trienols, which are a form of vitamin E that research from the University of Newcastle has shown to be up to 50 times more potent than standard toral vitamin E in neutralizing the oxidative stress that accelerates skin aging. Buyul is without question the most exciting development. The receptors that tell fibroblasts to produce collagen and accelerate cell turnover, but it does so through a different molecular pathway that doesn't trigger the inflammatory response responsible for retinol side effects. A head-to-head clinical trial published in the British Journal of Dermatology compared bucol to retinol in women with a mean age of 66 over a period of 12 weeks. Both groups showed comparable reductions in wrinkle severity and improvements in skin elasticity. But here's the critical finding. The buccio group reported significantly less facial stinging, scaling, and photosensitivity. For a woman in her 70s or 80s whose skin is already more sensitive and reactive. Final tips for healthier, younger-looking skin: that difference is not minor. It is the difference between being able to use the treatment consistently and having to abandon it because of side effects. Now, when you combine buyul and marula with castor oil, you create a blend where the castor oil's rice acid opens the pathways for deep penetration. The marula oil acts as an antioxidant-rich highway carrying everything deep into the dermis, and the buccal arrives directly at your fibroblast receptors and switches on collagen production with a precision that no single ingredient approach can match. To make this blend, combine 1 teaspoon of castor oil with 1 teaspoon of marula oil and 1/2 teaspoon of buyul oil. Warm it gently between your palms and apply it to your face and neck in upward sweeping motions every single night before bed. Within 3 weeks, most women notice their skin feels snorts denser and more hydrated. By 8 weeks, those with deep forehead lines often report that family members have commented on their skin without being prompted. And by 16 weeks, which is what that baloney study tracked, the changes in collagen density and wrinkle depth become measurable even by clinical instruments. For synergy, this combination is most powerfully enhanced by 2 things. Regular facial gua sha massage, which increases dermal blood flow by up to 30% and enhances the delivery of your oil blends, active compounds to skin cells, and adequate sleep. Specifically 7 to 10 hours, because growth hormone, which is the hormone most responsible for triggering collagen synthesis throughout the body, is released almost entirely during deep sleep. Apply your triple oil blend, do 5 minutes of upward gua massage, then go to sleep, and let your body's own biology complete the work. Now, I want to tell you about a woman whose story I carry with me. She was 74 years old when I first met her, a retired nurse from Portland, Oregon. Let's call her Helen. Helen had spent 40 years caring for other people. She had the kind of deep, and that is exactly what these combinations provide. Your independence, your vitality, the way you carry yourself through the world. These things are connected to how you feel when you look in the mirror. This is not a shallow observation. Research from the University of Michigan found that older women who reported satisfaction with their physical appearance had measurably better mental health outcomes, stronger social connections, and even better physical health markers over time. Taking care of your skin is not indulgence. It is self-respect, and it is never, ever too late to begin. If you've made it to the end of this video, I want you to do 3 things. First, go to the description and look at the scientific references I've listed. Read them. Share them with your doctor. Be an informed advocate for your own health. Second, leave a comment telling me your age and which of these 5 oil combinations you're most excited to try. And third, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do it now. I publish new content every week specifically designed for women navigating the beautiful, complex, sometimes frustrating, ultimately magnificent experience of aging with strength and grace. There are hundreds of thousands of women in this community who are proving every single day that the best chapters are still being written.